Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. I can already tell it might be a little too loud for what I'm trying to do here. Maybe just a little bit too loud. The rain and the big drops that are falling in this section here, splashing down. Well, I'm going to see what happens. I'm just going to sit here and just kind of talk. I'm here outside chilling because the rain is so relaxing, and sometimes when you have a lot on your mind, this is a great place to sit and chill and relax. Everyone else is inside chilling and doing whatever they're doing, and so I decided to sneak on out here and talk about a video that was shared with me by Brother Jamar. He's another one who shares a lot of things with me, and I just want to say thank you for sharing this particular video. Let me try to move over here a bit to see if I move away from the splash of that water, if it's going to change. Okay, kind of splashing over there a bit, so I'm thinking moving away from it, maybe that'll make things a little better. Okay, anyway, one of the kids just came out. They saw me recording, so they backed up real fast. They, oh, she's recording. But anyway, Brother Jamar shared a video with me, and in the video, there was a Gentile who was talking about modern-day Great Depression. And he kind of gave a history of the Great Depression, and then he brought it into today's time, and he kept it very real. He kept it very real in this video, talking about how in days gone by, how people were able to take care of themselves a lot better, able to grow their own food, search for water, just do all the things that they needed to do to survive. He talked about how one of his neighbors had a peach tree, and he asked the neighbor how come he never eats the peaches. And I'm sorry, not a peach. It's a pear tree. It was a pear tree. He asked the neighbor how come he allows his pears to just fall to the ground and not eat them. And the neighbor responded that during the Great Depression, that was literally all they had to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Nothing else. And he said that if he ever got out of that situation and was able to do something better and not have to concern himself with that he would never eat another pear. And so that was just an interesting little story as to why the man allowed his pears to go to the ground. But right now, we are living in a day and time in which he brought this point out in the video, to where not a whole lot of people even know how to do things. They don't know how to take care of themselves in the event of an emergency. A lot of people are not familiar with how to grow food, how to store food, how to purify water, how to start a fire, just a number of different things. A lot of people are not familiar with the old ways. They're not familiar with that. And so when he talked about what's going to happen during a modern Great Depression, he talked about how there's going to be crime. And we talked about this before as well on both of our channels, where a lot of people are going to be so unfamiliar with self-preservation in terms of being able to legally take care of their own selves, that they're going to have to beg, borrow, steal in order to survive, because they are not preparing themselves right now. Now, one thing that he said in the video that really stood out to me and really kind of, I'm not going to say brought fear, but it kind of made me perk up my ears and listen, okay? We can't operate in fear. We have to say, okay, given this information, where do I go from here? What do I do so that I don't find myself in a struggle when this time comes? But one thing he said is that 2019 is going to be the last year that we will be able to do anything significant to prepare ourselves for the future. And I'm paraphrasing what he said. He was saying that things are going to plummet so bad after this year that being able to bounce back after 2019 is going to be very difficult. Inflation is going to just chew everyone's pockets alive and just tear into everyone so deeply. And again, I'm paraphrasing. He made it seem like 2019 is the year that if you don't get it together this year, then you are finished. Now, one thing I want to say to that is we don't know if that's true or not. But what if it is? What if it is true? Now, many of us will sit and say, well, we can't say that. The government will do this. The government won't allow that to happen. We got more time than just 2019, or I think we got at least another 5 years before something like that happens. And, you know, a lot of people will just build up all of the excuses in their mind just to comfort themselves temporarily. But my thing is this: what if what he is saying is true? It would be great to say, well, no, that's not true. We're going to be fine. That would never happen. The government wouldn't allow something that drastic to happen to where there's going to be chaos and people not able to take care of themselves. And we can just say all of that if we wanted to. But they are nothing more than excuses, right? Because there's a big chance that what this man is saying is true. Is a big chance. And the thing that gets me is, for years, many have been saying this. It kind of reminds you of Noah's Ark. How Noah was telling people, hey, it's about to rain, y'all. It's about to rain. It's time to prepare. It is time to prepare. If you want, you can come and help me build this ark. If you come and help me build it, I will let you in. But the people laughed him to scorn. And when the rain began to fall, the door was shut and sealed. Now, I'm not trying to spark fear, but over the years, anyone who has followed this channel for any length of time knows that we have been talking to our listening audience in various broadcasts or videos and saying that you need to prepare. We say during tax time, if you're getting any amount of cash that is significant enough to make a difference in your life, buy yourself some land, invest in a business, do something worthwhile with the money that's going to benefit you and your family in the future. We have talked about those things. And so a lot of people over the years have also responded and have told us of their progress. Many have started gardens. Many have went out and actually bought land. We even did videos telling you how to buy land and how to look for land. We may do that again at some point, but I'm just going to say this little tidbit right here in this video. There was one particular time where we talked about looking for parcels of land. When we ourselves were looking for land, and this was a few years ago, we would run across properties that were like maybe 1 or 2 acres, and some of them already had like a travel trailer or a single or double wide on the property already. Now, 1 to 2 acres is a lot of land when you are starting out fresh, when you want to start out for the first time on a small scale. I've seen people who literally have 1 acre farms producing so much food, actually less than an acre, but they're able to produce so much food that they are producing an income as well as food for their family. And so In every city, there are opportunities to buy an acre or two that just, if you look hard enough, if you're willing to move out of your comfort zone or relocate to another area, if you look hard enough, there are many parcels of land. I remember we were looking at a show. It was some type of fixer-upper show. And I can't remember the name of it exactly, but it was an HGTV show. And there was a young woman, single, no children, just working a job, just her by herself. And she was looking for land. So she was looking for homes that needed work on them. So she ended up finding a house and land that was like $20,000. And it had 5 acres, I think. But with that, she was able to start her little empire. Then I've seen other situations where someone would buy land, maybe 4 or 5 acres, for $5,000. It all depends on how uncomfortable you're willing to get, how serious you are about this. And we've also talked about families coming together, or finding individuals that you know and are comfortable with, people in your family who are really good friends that you are comfortable with, coming together and pooling your resources to make it happen. So over the years, we've talked about these things, and some have put it into action, some have procrastinated, some didn't see the necessity. But as I listen to the Gentiles speak, we got to ask ourselves, do we want to gamble with time? We hear a lot of people talking about getting out of America and doing this, that, and the other. But even that, it costs money. You can't just say, okay, I'm leaving America. Okay, when you get where you're going, how will you survive? What will you do? How will you take care of yourself, especially if you have children? Or if it's not, you don't have any children young enough to go with you, but you and your spouse, how will you survive? It's easier said than done when people say they just want to pick up and go. Many of us, if we had our way, we would definitely be somewhere else. We would definitely be somewhere else. On the continent, perhaps, or down in South America somewhere. A lot of people are going to Costa Rica, just various places. And if that option were presented and affordable, a lot of people would take that option. But because a lot of people don't have that option, they have to think realistically and decide, what am I going to do where I am? Who can I trust? Who can I work with? Because this is definitely one of those things that you have to do with people that you trust. You can't just pick up and do all of this with people that you can't trust or people that you don't know. But to make it a worthwhile venture for yourself, for your family, for your group, is definitely something that needs to be looked into right now, because we don't know what the next year is going to bring. We have no idea. One thing we do know is that the economy is very, very iffy right now. A whole lot is happening. The dollar is shrinking and on its way out. And so while you have dollars and you can buy tangible goods, land, seeds, tradable resources that you can barter with, those are the things that you need to be looking into. If I remember, I'm going to put the link in the description area to this Gentiles video, because he said some very thought-provoking things about how things were in the Great Depression, how some people made it through, and how in today's time, if there were a modern-day depression or Great Depression, that a lot of people just wouldn't make it. A lot of people wouldn't make it. And it's sad to say that we don't even feel like we are prepared. We don't feel like we have done enough to prepare our family. And so all of us have got to get with the program and stop assuming that there is going to be some type of relief from the government when the crap does hit the fan. Don't look for it. We need to do all that we can for ourselves. And anyone that you can join with that is trustworthy, that you've prayed about, you've sought the Most High, and you think you can make it work with them, is definitely worth looking into. Definitely worth looking into. Let's not sit back and fold our hands, family. Let's get to work. With that, I will say shalom. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.